Franklin and Bash Season 4, Episode 8, Falcon's Nest. Definitely a good episode. I thought it was really funny. And one of my favorite things about it is that everyone was actually in this episode. Swattelo was in it, Anita was in it, Dan was in it, Infeld was in it. And although Dan and Infeld didn't have a lot of scenes, we did get to see a lot of Anita, which was really cool. We got to learn a little bit about her. And mostly, by the end of this episode, like, I thought that the wedding really was hers. That's why I thought it was so important. And it was just Game of Thrones, and it was really funny because it's like she's a nerd. They made her like a super nerdy character because she ended up getting into an argument about spoilers for a really special episode of Game of Thrones. So I thought that was really funny, and it still kind of sucked that that ended up happening, and she lost her fiance. She did kind of lose her wedding in that case, in that sense, and also her best friend. But it was cool to get to see her in this episode, and she was able to really have a chance to be in court and do what she wanted to do, and she worked with Carp, and so their relationship is kind of growing, and she even talks to Swattelo about that at the end of the episode, and of course Swattelo thought she was talking about her, so that was kind of funny, and they're both kind of in the same situation, and Swattelo in this episode did, we really got to see that she does still care about Jared, so it was pretty cool. So I definitely enjoyed that, and just the whole episode was cool. Like the main story was really funny. Like it was really funny. Like typically it's just funny because of Franklin and Bash, but the characters they were working with were both really silly because like they knew the one guy from when they were really young, and then the guy who ended up being his adopted son by the end of the episode was also really funny. So I really did enjoy that. It was just funny, and they kept having to deal with the like almost like the tyrant old guy in the Casa del Plaza, I believe was the name of it, but it was just a good episode. It was really funny, and just seeing the different sides of things, especially the stuff with Carp and Anita, because we don't really get to see Anita, and she's like the new character. And also, this was Carp's first complete episode back where he was actually working, because when he was back before, he was kind of in the episode. He really just came in like, "Oh, I'm so glad to be back," because that was really funny. Because every time you talk, I'm gonna say you bang your friend's moms, and that was really it. He didn't do much in last week's episode, or I guess 2 weeks ago, because I'm actually like a week late doing this review. But he we got to see him actually come back and do a case in this episode, and we got to see a lot about Swattelo too, and that was so that we could see the progression and how things were from her side, and that she does still actually care and does actually want to be with Jared. And she mentions at the end of this episode that it's happened before, she's done it before, but this was the only time it actually mattered. Like she of course stopped before she said that, but that's what you could tell, that's what she was gonna say. It's the only time it really meant something to her. So that was really cool, and I can't wait to see them get back together somehow. I mean, I don't know if they can do like the forum thing again, which I'm assuming they could if they wanted to, but that would be nice because I do think Swattelo and Jared actually, work together. I thought that was, I think it just works because they're really silly together. Because she's really serious, and he's not so serious, so it just works. And Anita and Carp, I think that could work too, but they're both they're both more similar, so I think it would just work in a different way. But I like the chemistry between them as well. Like I think all the characters have really good chemistry in this show. Everybody always seems to just really blend well with the other characters and or other actors really, because it's just a real feel to it. But I definitely love this episode. Like I said, the main story was really funny, and the two side stories were very informational because we got to learn a little bit about Anita at the end, but we did really get to see her do her thing with Carp as well. And of course, we got to see Swattelo kind of deal with this stuff, kind of the aftermath of wanting to be in a relationship and, sort of deciding not to do it because the answers that she gave were really honest during that test. And she heard things that weren't so great. So it was really cool to get that. And, Info kind of just sent her off to do like a really crappy thing. And so, like, the entire time was really, she was trying to do this one sort of fake mission that he even gave her in the beginning. And everyone was just disappearing left and right. Either she kicked the one guy out, the one woman was in the wrong meeting, Anita had to leave super early, and Dan had like the files randomly for a bunch of just to help her out. But that whole crappy little fake mission she had kept falling apart, so all that ended up happening was she just had time to think. So it was pretty cool the way they did that. But I enjoyed the episode. I'm excited for next week's episode. um of course, comment below, let me know what you guys thought about this one, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And now that we've gotten to see a tiny bit, like it's so little extra with Anita. Who do you guys want to learn more about next? Because really, we don't know that much about Swattelo either. Like, of course, we don't know about Dan or Anita because they're the brand new characters, but Swattelo we still don't really know about. So if you had to pick out of the three, even with the little bit we got, who do you want to see? You know, whose backstory do you really want to get more? For me personally, I think I'd like to get Swattelo's just because I feel like she's, gonna become like the love interest again for Jarrett. So I'd like to get more info on her and just who she is and like why she wanted to be a prosecutor and all that stuff. So that's who I want to see. But whose backstory do you guys want to see? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.